have achieved an outcome in such a way that it burned out everyone that I was working with, then that's a failure, right? Because I haven't created any capacity, I haven't created any assets going forward. But if I've achieved the outcomes that I set out to achieve in such a way that I built a new source of power within the constituency within which I'm working, then that's a success. And so an example of that is if you think about the civil rights movement in the United States, when the African Americans were sort of fighting to sort of integrate public institutions in the 1960s in the US, what the civil rights movement did was it achieved the goal that they wanted to achieve, right? They integrated the American public institutions, and they achieved the right to vote, right? They got all these goals that they wanted. But in doing so, they built a really strong infrastructure within the African American community where you had a lot more African Americans who had these leadership skills, these leadership capacities that they previously lacked. Right, and so they built that capacity, and those organizations went on to become, the NAACP and these other sort of like very storied organizations in the United States that still advocate for African American interests in the American political system. Okay, so that's the first thing: is organizing makes sense when the purpose that you want to achieve is twofold. When you want to make change in the world, but you want to make change in the world in such a way that it builds capacity. Right. Second thing is people. Organizing makes the most sense when the people who are motivated to make the change cannot do it alone. Okay? If the people who wanted to make change could do it alone, they should just do it. Right? They should just do it alone. Organizing is hard. There's no reason to sort of spend all this time going out and organizing if you don't need to. Right? But if the people who are motivated to make the change somehow need other resources to make change, then they need to figure out how to get those resources. Okay? And usually there are two ways that we think about how groups access